This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
A very warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend Podcast, where we've got, for Jumps fanatics, we've got a tremendous show. It's the Charlie Hall at Wetherby. We've got the Gold Cup at Ascot, the big handicap chase there. And for once, we're going to be talking about jump racing, which me, Quentin and John are sort of finding this like really... But to help us along, look who we've got back. It's Cathryn Fry.
Are you pissed or something? You got a bit of a stutter on that.
Yeah, I'm getting. It's the dementia and gin. You know, it literally is. It develops a stammer and all sorts of strange things. But yeah, gin is in hand as always for our shows.
For drinking and watching horses run, that's what that is.
Yeah. There's a chap that might want to sponsor us that runs a gin distillery. He sort of. I might mention that on the sermon, but that's for another show. Anyway. On to the rubbish we've got today and for tomorrow. And literally, it's jumps orientated on the television, which is a shock to me, to us, that there's no Montrose stakes on the TV. John, what do we think to that?
Absolute shit.
John, we've said about sitting on the fence before. You should come out and say what you really think.
Yeah, it is. That's summed up absolutely perfect. By my partner in crime there, by John. Anyway, we're going to come on to the tipping part of the show where Quentin will be desperate to catch up in the Naps table. We've only got 2 weeks left, and he's already informed me he's absolutely blasted through Wolverhampton on the all-weather for you sand evening fanatics. So I'd be interested to see what you've got, Quentin. I bet you've got some big gems lined up.
Something.
Right, without further ado then, let's come on to the bets round before we preview the twig hopping. John will probably disappear to get a turkey leg out of the freezer while we're talking about that. But nevertheless, round 3, 1 point bets. John, I'm coming to you first.
I'll make this short and sweet because I don't even know why I'm here. My last winner dates back 3 Prime Ministers now. I'll go in the 323 Newmarket with Dashing Roger. This one has been absolutely taking the piss this year, but hasn't had a decent jockey up since November last year, so no wonder. Colin Story will be getting a proper pep talk off Mr. Stone for this. Won't stand for these tardy starts, etc. that's been going on. Won't be frightened to boss this piss-taking little shit of a horse. He was running off 104 this time last year, and he's now down to 88. He's got it in him to piss up in one of these. It probably won't be tomorrow.
66 to 1 with Sky Bet, Betfair, Bet Victor and Coral. And might be turn out to be a decent draw, that John, in 13, where today's panned out anyway. So might not be the forlorn hope you think. It might just surprise a few people.
I confidently expected to get beaten a photograph.
Yeah. Right, Quentin, coming to you for your 1 pointer.
My 1 pointer league comes in a 14-13 at Newmarket. Horse in question in these shoes. Draws probably not an issue. Drawn in 1, which, given how the last race is planned out, is probably a bad thing. But it's got Ryan Moore on. He kind of headed towards the rail on, I think it was the Dunlop trained horse in the early stages of that race, and he's got half a brain. Strong race last time out. Looks like form that's going to work out. You had Gumraid come out of that and run a cracker at Doncaster, and after not handling the heavy going, and this looks a weak heat, to be honest. Slight headwind tomorrow, which won't help, but you got Speriano that won a race at Newmarket, covered up from a headwind. Queen's Eye that's won on genuinely heavy ground in two really poor times. Quantum Light doesn't particularly look well handicapped off a mark of 78. She's got physical scope to progress from a mark of 80. She's won on soft ground already at Thirst. Not much not to like. 1 point win. I think there's 3-1 kicking around. 3-1, yeah.
Love it. So in these shoes with Ryan Moore, 3-1 bet 365 William Hill. Bet Victor of the major firms for the kilt, and more maybe to have a bumper day, according to Quentin. He fancies more to have a great day. Thank you for that. My third best goes in the 358 at Newmarket, the one that I probably would have been good for terrestrial TV. It's a really good fillies race. Very keen on the Appleby trained Dream of Love with the Doyler in James Doyle in the saddle. Decent draw, stall 8, and what I like about this filly is her action, that she managed to win on fast ground. She's got quite a knee bend, so any juice in the ground will help. And the fact that she's a half sister to Mogul, I believe, suggests this mile will also improve. She was very, very strong in the final furlong at Newmarket. Gave the Johnson horse a lot of rope, but managed to nail the Johnson horse. And I do think that Dream of Love will improve a good deal for the mile. The £39 sectional upgrade she got for that run as well on top puts her right in it anyway. And I just think with the improvement, I think she's a strong favourite, and I'd make her about a 7-4 shot to win that. So 3-1, plenty of value with the slut from Stoke, if you can get on with the green bet 365. Cathryn Fry, I'm coming to you.
I thought this was supposed to be a jump show. All you lot have done is waffle on about the fucking flat.
Well, I've got a surprise for you. One of my bets is a jumps bet. Ha!
Amazing. Okay. Now, I don't know whether I'm pissing in the wind with this or not, but I spotted this earlier. And this is a horse that used to be in my tracker before I decided that he was completely mad. He is completely mad. But what catches my eye is that he's now gone to Mark Walford, and Mark Walford's really in form at the moment. He had another winner today.
Yes.
The race is 5:20 at Wetherby, and the horse is Ashington. He's so frustrated. He's just one of those really, really, really frustrating horses that shows a little bit of talent, but just manages to screw it all up somewhere along the line. Now, he's had a recent spin on the flat. I wouldn't have expected him to show very much on there. But the Sable is in form, and Harry Cobden rides him tomorrow. This is the last chance I'm going to give him, but I don't think I can ignore the 20-1 available. So for my my third best bet, I'm going to go each way on Ashington, please.
Interesting. I think it's an interesting jockey booking, that. The reason I say is because the yard obviously have sort of got a stable jockey in Jamie Hamilton, who rode the winner today at Wetherby, and it kind of, you think, why is he not on? It kind of doesn't add up that. But it's just an interesting jockey booking, like you say. But
yeah, I mean, I could be absolutely reading it wrong, but I just thought at that price, just stick him and see what happens.
Yeah,
he's completely mad. So who knows?
Right. What would you like? Would you like 22-1 with the 4 pegs with Sky Bet, or 25-1 with the 3 pegs everywhere else? Do you want the
That's
extra
a win-only
one?
bet, isn't it?
Quentin doesn't do each way.
Just go the normal. Just go normal each way terms.
Normal each way terms. So you want the 25s with Paddy's Betfair, Bet Victor. Nice price, Fry. Like it, and Leng also with his monstrous first round pick. So that concludes that. Onto the 2-pointers. Quentin, coming to you.
My 2-pointer league comes in the 358 at Newmarket, and the horse in question is Dream in Love.
Whoa, we've got it. We've got a klaxon.
Awesome.
Love
it. One of the reasons why, like all for what you've said as well, like the Dam's shows a bit in the action. The Dam's Secret Gesture, listed winner on heavy ground. Other soft ground winners in there. Final Gesture won I think a French handicap of 84 on Good de Soft. I think the telling thing is you had massive back end sectionals there, and Appleby's 2-year-old fillies just aren't ready. Last 2 seasons, he's had one first-time out 2-year-old filly winner from 31 runners, 3.2% strike rate, 0.12 actual over expected. So I expect significant improvement to come from her, to be honest, tomorrow. As you said, £39 on top of it was a modest figure, but she did very well to overcome the run of the race there. A lot more to come at a mile. 2 points win, whatever price you had.
3-1 with the 5-2 now. They're 3-1 for QF for Dream of Love with the Stokes Sluts again, and a lovely clack. We love a klaxon. Brings confidence. My 2-pointer then, we're going to Wetherby. I think this should be a very short price. It isn't, and I don't know why. The 150 race at Wetherby, it's the first race on TV. Why this is on TV, I don't know, because it's just an ordinary sort of novice hurdle. Probably fits in with the schedule, I suppose. But Joda Dancer of Ben Paulins, 5-2 with Paddy's, Betfair, Bet Victor, has been bigger. Was putting 4-1, which was even funnier. And I didn't get it. I didn't get why. Because in its point to point, it was absolutely cruising. And 11 clear when it come down at the last. Now, I know point-to-point form and under rules form, it's a different thing, but they bought this privately. It didn't even go through the sales ring, so you can bet your life they've paid a right few quid for it, of the Megsons. What was impressive also about the point form was the third of Lucinda Russell's has come out and won by about 14 wickets at Kelso in a novice hurdle, running to, well, a Racing Post rating, if you like, of about 126. And it absolutely slammed that. How on earth is this at 5-2? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, they put it in fours bizarrely. Ben Paulins had an amazing start to the national season, so he's also in really good nick. It just looks an absolute stick-on job. I'd be probably 11-10, 5-4. Don't really see anything that can beat this. If it's straight, I haven't got information that it's straight. You'd imagine it would be. Why would they run it not straight? I'm confident. 2 points win. That's with Paddy Power, Betfair, Bet Victor. Fry, coming back to you for your two pointer.
I was going to go against you in that race, but I'll save that one. I'll save that one. Okay, a 2-pointer. Okay, then I'll go to the Charlie Hall. I think now I might be wrong by the end of the season. I might look like a total dick by the end of the season. Wouldn't be the first time. But I think Ahoy Senor is the better horse out of Brave Man's Game and Ahoy Senor. I know the score is 1-1 to each of them at the moment. I think the problems that Ahoy Senor faced last year was his jumping. And I know that they've really, really worked on that. And if you look at his RSA run again, or whatever they call it these days, he makes significant mistakes at the 7th and the 14th, and again, like 3 out. And to do that in an RSA and keep running on, and then to come out and do what he did at Aintree when L'Empresse and Brave Man's Game didn't really turn up, I thought was incredible. And for a yard that, for all we know, to be totally straight in its operations, I think this is a bloody good horse. And I think that we could, I hate to be talking about the C word at this time of year, but I genuinely think that we could be looking at a Gold Cup contender, like a genuine Gold Cup contender. And thank God the UK will have a genuine Gold Cup contender. So yeah, my 2-point win tomorrow is going to go on Ahoy Senor.
Ahoy Senor 6-4. The Stokes Slut, Billy Mountains, and Tane have got it at 6-4. We'll come on to that in the preview. I'll have a chat with you about that race. By the way, Secret Investor is a non-runner.
Okay. What was your point about that?
I was just going to say that I just wondered if Nichols stuck that in there just to stick it up Ahoy Senor, maybe go forwards with it, and Brave Man's Game just to sit in behind, but
to try and put his jumping under pressure.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing. If Ahoy Senor gets his own way, which I've got a feeling Cobden might just take a pull and let Ahoy Senor's better when he's just allowed to go and do his own thing.
Oh yeah.
Like we saw at Aintree, it was so yeah, I do. We'll look at that when we come to the preview. But no, good choice, John Joe, to finish the round.
Cathryn was talking about the C word there. I thought the Chester Mayor meeting was going to get
I was going to the C word. I was talking about.
Yes, the rude. Yes, the D stakes, and yeah, I know.
It's not much for me, this. I think I'm still a little bit traumatised. In the space of a week, we've gone from Megan Nichols in a flimsy frock that a hummingbird could probably tear off to Alice Plunkett dressed like a lumberjack going to a fucking barn dance.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I digress.
I thought that you'd be all right with this time of year, John, because you got a bit of a thing for Venetia, and I thought, seeing as like Venetia's got a couple out tomorrow, I thought you would have been sort of, fancying that a bit.
I went a bit tepid on Venetia last year, actually, to be honest. Alice Haynes is the new pin-up, I think.
Apparently, Alice Haynes, John, she's a real hard taskmaster, a nasty piece of work. Apparently,
I'm liking the sound of that even more. What was it? 2 points, yeah.
Yeah, 2 points.
I'm actually after booking the draw trend here tomorrow, so if there's any draw wonks listening, please feel free to ignore the next 25 seconds or so. 8:02 in the 2:48 Newmarket. Regular listeners will know I've stuck this up as a horse to follow after noticing him on debut. The handicap has not missed him. The best I've had him hitting up to now is 75 runs or 76 here. But I think he's yet to be ridden to best advantage. There ought to be more to come. I would have definitely preferred one of those back-end nurseries over 10 at Nottingham or Bath, but this is where they've sent him, so this will have to do. 2 points win. Bollocks.
I like this horse, John, but when you spotted it on debut, I thought I thought you'd got a real good one here, and then obviously you know what's happened the next.
Well, we got Canary, didn't we?
Basically? I mean, what if you watch the Goodwood run? I genuinely believe if they'd have wanted, they could have probably nearly won that. Just looking at the ride in the closing stages, so you definitely better than 76. Especially with the extra trippers and everything, like you said, just the one bugbear. If the draw does play out possibly how it did today, it doesn't always at Newmarket. It's just one of them things, you get thrown off. But like you say, it could be a very good bet if the draw doesn't have an impact at 12-1 with the Stokes lot. So for your 2 points, good stuff, mate. Fry kick us off with I want to know Fry's best bet.
Okay, all right. It's no surprise because I think I talked about this horse a lot last season, and I talked about this horse a lot with you, Quentin, actually. So my 3-pointer is going to be it's at Ascot, and it's Any Harm in Asking. Now, this horse is still on a mark of 137 after facile victories at Catterick and Sedgefield. There's a couple in the race that have got great win entries, and I'm looking to see what Broomfield Berg does to improve on his third last time out, because I'm thinking about currently backing him at 20-1 for the Great Wood, but that's a different story. Any Harm in Asking, the defeats in the early part of last season were a thing of beauty. If you genuinely want a a laugh, go and watch the videos of him getting beaten. Because
you told me so. That was great.
Yeah. It's just superb, just a thing of absolute beauty. And I was expecting this horse to pop up at one of the spring festivals, get entries at Cheltenham, didn't run. And I was thinking maybe Aintree, maybe Punchestown, and that didn't run at all. Obviously, he's top rated with Hackett Plus for Pumpkin. I just think there's so much more to come. I think you are looking at a 150 horse in the making. The stable do target this. Obviously, they've won it with Soaring Glory. I'm very interested to where this fella is going to end up. There's definitely room still off that mark. I think that's still a very generous mark, considering what we did see last year. It's been very cleverly. It's a big pat on the back for John Joe for that one. Taking him to places, totally skirting the big courses, taking him to places like Catterick and Sedgefield, and it's just hilarious. So that's my 3-pointer. And
remember we chatted about this last winter, didn't we, Fry? We we both said that after the Sedgefield win, he looked like he win the county hurdle on the bit.
And then
yeah.
There were a couple that he would have got in at Cheltenham as well, and they just didn't run.
Could have had an issue, or they just felt saving for next year. But 7-2 for Fry's Nap, and a very promising horse there. In any harm in asking. Okay, John, coming back to you.
458 Wolves drafted. Well talented last run, but floundered on strange ground at Haydock. This will suit a lot better. Ran well the time before on the sounder surface when he was given a bit of an iffy ride. Could have probably won that day, really. Every reason to think this can outrun his mark by some considerable distance. 3 points win.
Yeah, it was a very costly experience for me at Haydock. I had quite a large stake across various platforms and the exchanges, etc. And then found out that the winner of the race, Grey's Anatomy, Grey's something or other of Grey's Anatomy. That's the TV show, isn't it? Anyway, the one that Beckett ran. He absolutely pissed up and ends up like listed Group 3 class. So it was never gonna beat that.
And this one was running on the shit as well.
So, just a thing though, John. Do you think drafted ran behind Manure also runs? Do you think it'd reverse that possibly? I mean, we know how good James Orton is anyway.
I have very little concern about this tomorrow. I think this will win all right.
Good stuff. So 3 points win with the fives.
Perfect.
Yeah, lovely. Two nice tips to start the round from Cathryn and John. Okay, I will leave Quentin till last because I've allowed Quentin some special privileges. So I'm wondering what he's going to come up with. But we'll get on to that. My 3-pointer goes in the 508 at Newmarket, and this is the bet of bets, really. This is the one that you just keep having more on. Pocket the Profit goes in the 508 there, and this horse all season has been waiting for soft ground. And people say, well, he had it last time at Catterick. Yeah, they ran it at Catterick over the 7, and because Pocket the Profit's got a bit of a stalls aversion and keeps missing the kick, Catterick is never going to suit. Newmarket tomorrow with the wind coming from the southeast, southeast. He's slightly in the faces, so it won't be as easy to make all. I think Ryan will get this sort of buried, and it literally is. There's a good pace on, and this will come sluicing through off a really, really good mark. This for me, as long as we get the look and the gaps, I just can't see anything beating this. And 6-1 available. 5. You can go the 6 places with Sky Bet. You don't need 6. We'll have the 5 for a 1.5 points each way, only because I'm slimy and I'm trying to beat Richmond to win the Naps table. Otherwise, it'd be 3 on the nose. But I'm a slime ball in each way. Slime ball for Pocket the Profit and Ryan Moore in the 508 at Newmarket. That's me, Quentin. Drum roll. Because you want to win the Naps table. You still believe. You're a believer.
I'm still live. I'm still live to Undeadly. So, well, truth be told, I've got 2 good bets on your weather. I can't really split them, so I'm going to do a 3 points double and swing and see what lands. First one comes into 1658 at Wolverhampton. Horse in question is Manure. Game. Some people have called him a double pig. People on this podcast
might be me. Yeah.
I feel he needs your weather. Like he's put up a really big figure on your weather in a race that worked out well. Never Just a Dream bolted up in a really good time. Subsequently won again on your all weather at Newcastle twice. Matani's came out and won in a decent time at Brighton since. Starnenberg probably should have won at Donny last week. And then you got Forceful Speed that's running off a mark in the high 80s. That's behind Manure. Solitary Trees has came out and won races since. It's strong form and really good time for the grade. He's off a mark of 66 here. Drawn in 12, nagging doubt, but the blinds are on and they just go forward with the horse. Tomorrow they'll bounce him out and try and make all. He's well handicapped off a 66. He's got the beaten drafted already. He has hung. He hung at Yarmouth on handicap debut when he looked well treated. Knackers are off. I'm quite happy to put the heavy ground defeat at Nottingham down, simply down to the ground. He's out of the street crime mare. I'm pretty certain he's a fair bit better than 66. It will just be a jump and run job. That's 5-1. Just an added thing. They had 3 entered in the race, the yard. They had the packet, I think, entered, and another thing that shit up at Leicester the other day in a good time. And they've opted to send Manure here, so I think that's kind of quite telling. The other horse in question is the 1930 at Wolverhampton, and it's Kenilworth King. Won really well in a good time here at the 1st of October. Has gone up in the weights £5, essentially 8 with Benoit de Lesseps. Having a free £3, wasn't seen to anything like best effect last time out, 3 deep in a 0 to 80, out of his pay grade essentially. But a 3-year-old receiving weight for age, coming from a race that worked out well when he won in early October. He should be probably more a 5-2 shot, and we're getting 5-1. So 3 points win, 5-1 times 2, please.
Yes, so 3 point max bet double for Quentin to win the Naps table. Our 2 flat juggernauts in John and Quentin going head to head with both of them. I see both points, to be honest. Obviously, yes, I did call Manure a pig. It's one of the worst hangs I've seen at Nottingham last time. I really thought that was ungenuine. The one at Yarmouth, sort of are forgiven for, but the Bowie contact that I have did actually say before Yarmouth, so this isn't after time, he actually said this horse wants gelding and headgear. So, and it was odds on that day at Yarmouth. So, and what did idiot here do? I still backed it. So there you go. So that's that. You know, we're all idiots. But yeah, so that's an interesting double. And if Quentin lands it, this puts Quentin in pole position, I would imagine, for Naps King. So interesting choices, Quentin and John. Right, that finishes the bets round. Hope you enjoyed it, and good luck with your bets. And if you agree with any of ours or you don't agree, at least it sort of steers you maybe in the right direction for Saturday's racing. On to the previews of the television races tomorrow. We've got the jumps racing only, as mentioned earlier, which has pleased us all. And so we go to the 150, Wetherby first. That's where we'll start. And I tipped up Joe the Dancer because of what I saw in the point, and I just think he'll prove absolutely different class. But it's interesting, Cathryn had one on the best bets round, and it sort of put Cathryn off that I was so bullish about the polling horse. So Cathryn, anything that you like one in here, I think?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like Ruth Jefferson's horse, Autumn Return.
Yeah.
I think that she's looking like she could be a pretty decent mare. She's gone up to 2-3 here. Not bother. She's 3 mile point winner herself. I think she's taken to her racing very quickly. She's won a point. She's won a bumps up. She won her first hurdle. I think she's pretty straightforward, and I just really like her. I watched her win at Market Raisin, sort of put her down, and then I thought, see where she was going to pop up, and then had a nag me alert to say that she was running here, and one that's fine by me. So I'm gonna go.
She was very impressive at Raisin, and like she showed a good, nice little turn of foot, really, to put matters to bed, and the time also backs that up. The time was decent. So you've got the visual impression and the time, and she was obviously a point to point winner, I believe. Which point to point winner? Yeah,
she could be pretty decent.
Yeah, and I agree. She would be the principal threat. They originally put Prairie Wolf in as favourite. Sue Smith's runners are dead, absolutely dead at the moment. Forget Sue Smith, no chance. The Ollie Murphy horse is very one pace, can't have that. No, I think it's between me and you. I genuinely think if Joe the Dancer turns up in good shape and is fit, I think there's one winner. But if there's one to beat Joe the Dancer, I do think it's yours. I'm not just saying that because you're on the show. That's what I genuinely felt anyway. Prior pod. Quentin, John, anything in this?
I'll be roaming with you, Lee. To be honest, I didn't like Prairie Orf. I think Adam Norman's blog. I've read it for the last few years. He always points out how backward Sue Smith's horses are at this stage of the year. She's not had a winner since I think it's June, and I know she's had a few run well, but I suspect that's going to need a bit more time. I didn't particularly like the autumn return form. The Milton Harris horse is now 108. That's in a handicap next week, I think it is. So yeah, I'll be rolling with yours. If you would expect, given it would have shit up at a point, you're going to need to run to 115, give or take, to win this. I've got no problem with him doing that first up.
I think the fact that he didn't make the sales, I think that's telling, because you usually point. Well, I know it didn't win a point, but it fell, but it would have won. That would have been at the sales and a big interest. So the fact it was bought privately suggests that that's a positive, that's a plus. That someone's gone in and said, right, what's your price? Name your price, and that for me is how it's worked with that one. So I'd be shocked if that's beat, to be honest, if it runs its race. The 225, the Bet365 Mares Hurdle, 2 miles. I felt Molly Ollie's would take the beating, just because she's effective at a variety of trips. She travels well. She likes this track, and I didn't really see any reason not to be with her at 11-8. Thoughts, chaps?
I like
exact. Oh, after you, Cathryn.
No, Quentin, go on, honestly. I'm just what you.
I was going to say, Martello Sky is kind of over 2 miles, feels like one to oppose. Proper grinder that responds well to pressure, and stamina's her forte. This, what's the ground? Good to soft, good in places. This isn't going to turn into the kind of required slog that she needs. She's the one I'm going to be against. So I'm going to try and probably get her out of the frame and probably lay her small in the 2-place market. That will be my into the race.
Yeah, no, Cathryn.
Yeah, like Nina the Terrier. Again, I mean, she's better over 2.5 than she is over 2 mile, and I would imagine that they're looking at the Mares Hurdle with her. But I think she has got enough pace for this at Wetherby. I do like Nina the Terrier, and obviously Alan King's in decent form. The one which has got me really scratching my head is, and obviously I do like an Irish Raider.
Island Mahi.
Yeah, but what's so weird, I mean, she's got a HRI mark of like 115. The British Handicap have given her 122. And unless they know something you don't, I'm quite surprised that she's been declared here. But,
Yeah, don't really. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised, but like you say, stranger things have happened.
Yeah,
especially the Irish runners. But
that's the thing. Yeah, which I automatically my ears prick up. But then when I had a look, I thought, what is that? What is she doing here? I totally agree with Quentin on his assessment of Martello Sky.
Yeah,
and she obviously wants it hot deep and a little bit further. So yeah, at the 2, Molly always wishes. I really need to stop this, especially with betting, because it doesn't do you any good. But I've got a real aversion to backing Dan Skelton's horses.
Well, is that because of Harry?
No, it's not, weirdly. It's actually because I think that some of them look like they're going to be so good, and then never really amount to that much. And then when they go, they really go. Like they suddenly go from running well to running like massive pigs, and then just go. And I don't know. I can't. It's really weird. I've almost got this aversion to backing Dan Skelton's horses, and it's really bizarre. I can't quite work it out why. Perhaps I need to sort of have a chat with a psychiatrist or something.
We all do. Definitely. If you appear on the Masters,
most of
need to have a word. Yeah.
But a very long-winded way of saying it's Nina the Terrier for me.
No, but yeah, fair points. I like Nina as well as a mare. I think she's going places this season, but just wondered if this might be too stiff if the real Molly Ollie turns up. John.
It's a Mares Hurdle. I'd rather fillet Theresa coffee after she just comes straight from the gym.
Right. This is where I object because I've got a picturesque mind and the image has just popped up. I mean, if I could put it on Twitter, it's in my mind now. It's grim, John.
Indeed.
On that note, we'll move on to the Bet365 West Yorkshire Hurdle. Seeing Sporting John of the Philip Hobbs team as a rather short price favourite. Now, the only opinion I got in this was that there's absolutely zero pace on whatsoever. And the only horse that will go forwards is 3 through 5, which probably isn't fit, and having this as a pipe opener to go back chasing. So it's not really, for me, I found it difficult to find a way in. What did we think?
I do think Sporting John will win.
Yeah.
What I found really interesting was, obviously, Sporting John, he had his time in the wilderness. And then didn't he win that really big chase at Sandown? Like, totally, didn't he?
Just out of the blue. He looked. I mean, looking at his career, right? So he looked a world beater, didn't he?
Yeah.
Early on, and then started to bomb out,
Yeah.
and like you said, came out at Sandown under your favourite jockey as well.
I know, yeah, unbelievable. Remember watching it, but I think obviously he won that Pertemps qualifier. I think wasn't he probably the only one off in the race, so obviously he won it. And then I thought, oh, okay, cool. Where are they going to go then? And you know what? I think nobody remembers this, and I honestly wonder if I dreamt it, because I can't find footage of it anywhere. No, it must have been 2020, because there were crowds at Cheltenham after the festival. Literally, the closing interviews, and I think it was Lydia that did the interview with Philip Hobbs. What the hell is going on with these Irish horses? What are they on?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, go on, big.
Yes.
Now, I think I must have sort of there's a blip in the matrix or something, because the interview was even put on Twitter, okay, and I liked the tweet and thought, yes, I'm going to replay that a few times to my conspiracy-laden brain, but disappeared. You cannot find reference to that interview anywhere, which I find a little bit odd. He almost obviously we didn't see Sporting John at Cheltenham. He'd already shown enough to run in, obviously, either the Pertemps or the Stayers, and it's almost like he's like, well, I'm not going to go to Cheltenham because they're all on drugs, and it's like, well, he obviously thinks that he does have a pretty decent shot at the Stayers this time round. Do you know where I'm kind of going, or have I gone completely insane?
No, I know where you're going.
I do think Philip Hobbs is onto something. And I think that he thinks that he's got a pretty decent horse. And I just wish that after the abomination of running Time Hill in the Albert Bartlett, when he got the worst fucking ride I've ever seen in my life, that he'd gone chasing with him a bit earlier. But anyway, that's by the by. But he must think now, okay, I've let them all have it this year. I think I've got a fucking good horse to go to war with. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go along the Stayers programme. Because if you were going after down the qualifying route again, you wouldn't be turning up here. Plus, you a 154, you're going to be near the top of the weights. That's my theory anyway. But as I say, I am booking the psychiatrist appointment next week.
I totally get it. And Sporting John, I think, would win in the normal, as long as it's not a farce. But 3 through 5, you can see going a good pace, can't you? Because that's what he does. He's like a staying gallopy, lopey type that you can't go slow on him. He'll just lobble. I think he'll set a nice, decent pace, to be honest. But Quentin, John?
Opposing Sporting John, for me, to be honest, feels like a pipe opener with bigger targets ahead, ground not soft enough. There's, as you said, lack of pace is a concern in the race as well. Can just see him getting away from him on a decent surface. I feel we need it hock deep to be seeing the best effect. It was proper heavy ground in the Scilly Isles when he shit up in a good time. So it'll be opposing him at sub 2 to 1.
No, good stuff. John?
Couldn't pay Simon Rowlands enough money to come on.
Hating me, but I thought he was yours to be best mate.
Might be one for Sunday. That.
I've got a question for all of you.
Go on.
Especially you, Lee, because I know that you probably you do keep a tidy eye on the jumps.
Yeah.
Ollie Murphy, okay. So the amount of decent horses that he gets in his hands.
Yes.
Do you think that he has the returns on what he should be having?
No, he's hopeless.
Okay. It's just that I was having a conversation the other day at Cheltenham, and myself and my esteemed colleague both said, like, fucking hell, what he gets to what results he gets. And I just wonder if something like a horse like Thomas Darby, who, okay, admittedly, is not the most straightforward fellow. Now, I remember, let me tell you this, okay? I can say this now because I really don't give a shite, okay? When I worked on Cheltenham Radio, and my boss was Mr. Rupert Bell. Okay, when he won at Cheltenham, Rupert was like, God, look at that. That's a future champion hurdler. That's a world beater. I said, no, it's not. It's not, because look at his head carriage. He's a bit odd. Okay, he's got talent, but he's a bit odd. He needs kid hands. Yeah, he needs sort of kid gloves. He needs kid hands. He needs tender handling. And not in the not off way. And I was, and he was like, no, that's absolute bollocks, rah, all this. Anyway, look, I often wonder if Thomas Darby had gone to somebody like Mr. Nichols, we'd be looking at a real fucking decent staying hurdler. Anyway.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, Ollie Murphy, for some reason, a lot of his horses, I don't know if that's who buys for them or whatever. Or I have no idea, but obviously the owner of this, is it Diana Waitley? Yeah, the Waitley. So I mean,
I don't get it, because she's had better results with old misery bollocks Hobbs.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me that every Ollie Murphy horse needs a wind up.
Yeah, which I believe he's had another one, hasn't he, Thomas Darby? He's had a racecourse gallop as well. What's the fucking is that? Is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's the in thing, the wind ups, but to me, every Ollie Murphy runner's tongue tied and wind ups, and
it's really bizarre.
It's really weird. So whether that's, I don't know. Does he crack the wind at home? Maybe. Does he work them too hard? John, thinking about it, right? Do you remember when you said about O'Brien? What was that? Air Force Blue, I think it was.
Yeah.
Aidan O'Brien's, and you said they've cracked the wind on this one.
Yeah, I thought so, because they stuck a tongue tie onto the guineas, didn't they, first time up?
Yeah, which was odd, and it just reminds me of that.
Yeah.
What do you the other two reckon?
It wouldn't be my cup of tea.
Okay, Quentin.
I'm in your camp, Cathryn, as well.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting, because I just had this conversation out of the blue on Saturday, and I just wondered what other people thought.
I think you're right.
How many trainers can you say do really get the most out of their stock that they're given? There's not many, are there? Like, there's plenty of trainers that get given good horses or thrown money at and just underperform.
And then there's like really less fashionable trainers that do really well with what they're doing.
I'm glad you've done this, Cathryn. This is sort of giving me a little jumps version of the Charlie Hills project to follow.
It's like John's been tasered, and it's like it's woke him up because yeah.
John, do us a favour. Have a look at his runners through the winter and tell me what you think.
Yeah, I think I will actually.
And give us your weekly update, and obviously, don't hold back.
Yeah, the Wally Corner, can't we?
Yeah, that's it. So you've heard it on Bar Stewards. Ollie Murphy, an idiot. Former Gordon BFG assistant.
Assistant, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's got all his horses. I've been an assistant to the BFG.
I just thought, isn't it more to do like with his parents?
I don't know. What his parents training him?
No, he's not his dad, isn't he?
Maybe his dad grows the carrots.
Yeah. Right. I just thought that it was, I don't know. I know he was like with the BFG for ages. I tell you what, with Ollie Murphy, and he obviously must train him hard because he's very good with bumper debutant. So clearly he's a trainer that likes to ready a nice one for a bumper and bolt up. But then, like you say, Cathryn, they don't seem to go on.
So his methods may be open to question. 3:35, it's the Charlie Hall, and Fry is very confident on a Hoy Senor. What I was going to pose to you, like I say, Secret Investor, with were they going to, mess that up? That kind of thing. I agree with Fry, really. I think Hoy Senor is a beast of a horse, and if he gets in the right rhythm early, there's no way Brave Man's Game can catch him. That's my, because I don't think they'll try and take him on. I think they'll sit second, and I just don't. As long as the Hoy Senor turns up and is in the right rhythm, that I think Fry is correct. What do we think, chaps? Yeah, so we're all Hoy Senor fans. It summed up very quickly. Okay, we'll move to Ascot, where we've got 4 nice races, really. The 130 I found very, very difficult to fathom. Obviously, John's assessment of Gershon from last year was equine wanker, and he obviously sits at the top of the market. I'd like to know Fry's thoughts on this first of all.
Do you know what, Lee? I haven't really looked, because I looked at the number 1 horse and I was like, holy shit, I don't think I can even watch this race.
It's a tricky race, right? I was shocked at how bad Gowell Road jumped at Perth. I couldn't believe it. Like Twist and Davis, jump absolutely out and out, true jumping family.
Yeah.
This horse literally must have hit 6 or 7 fences. It was absolutely disgraceful, as if they'd never sculled it.
But no, I can't have these conversations on it. I can't do it. Anyway,
you can't.
No, I just look. God love him. Like, Sam is such a lovely lad, and but I think that his time with Nichols really dented his confidence, and I thought he was brilliant when he first started, and now I'm kind of like, it almost, when I won't back a horse because of the jockey, I'm almost a bit like that, because I find that when they really need encouragement and a real, like 1, 2, 3, bang, like up and over, like a cigar smoking Davy Russell, something like you saw. I don't know if you saw at Cheltenham at the weekend, but Martin Keithley's useful mare Found On.
Yeah.
She's very big. She's very game. She's almost over enthusiastic at her fences. But the way Sean Bowen was popping her into them was just an absolute thing of beauty.
Great jockey, yeah.
Just so in rhythm with her. Sam, God love him, I don't know where his head's at the moment, because to me, I see him go for a long one, I see him go for a short one, when they really need to come up, and 9 times out of 10 it ends in shit. And I at the moment I can't back anything from that stable. Gallagher, for me, I thought that when he was winning sort of hurdles at Cheltenham the first time, I thought that he looked an out and out stayer. So I don't know. I've given this race a swerve, and I don't think I'll watch it. I just hope that everyone gets home safe and sound.
It is. It's a very tricky race. Quentin, John, thoughts?
Well, that was the first let's hope we all get home safe and sound of the season.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was doing my Plunkett bit just for you.
Oh.
Dressed up, going to a barn dance.
Dressed like a lumberjack for the barn dance, Cathryn.
I don't know. I haven't got the boots or the hat, John. To go racing at Cheltenham, you need the Fairfax and Favour boots with the old tassels on them.
Yeah, and they always say leave the boots on, don't they?
Yeah.
What FC Basque would do, actually.
Quentin,
Dora with the feathers in the hat as well.
Quentin, thoughts on this?
My initial thoughts were, I want to oppose Goshen just because it's Goshen, to be honest. Everyone said, he fantastic return to the flat, whatever, but he made all in a very steadily run race against slow horses last time out at Goodwood. It would have put him spot on. He was weak enough in the market that day. Do you want to back him at 6-5? No. Do you want to lay him at 6-5 given how Galro jumped first time out and how far out the way the others
first time out of the fences? Yeah.
not really, no. So it's a race to watch. I hope Goshen gets beat, to be honest. That would be nice and bring a smile to my face, but I won't be laying him.
Remember when he ran in the champion hurdle? And that what still makes me pee myself to this day, that people backed him to beat Honeysuckle.
Yeah. Yes, well, we do. We get all time in this. I mean, you know,
In car park across the road, wouldn't it?
the national hoity-toities are a weird breed. They tend to wear scarves of the colours of the horses they're backing, and I can't work that out.
I know, what the fuck is that?
You know, I'm still scratching my head at that one. But anyway, the 205 is the Bateaux London Handicap Hurdle, and Fry's weighed in with a 3-pointer. And obviously, this is a horse I love. Any harm in asking? I think this is an absolute talent. Only one thing that concerns me, and I didn't bring it up on your best bets, but I noticed he does dive to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a massive worry around this shit pit. You know, I mean, it's tight enough, and if he does that he did in both Catterick and Sedgefield, where he just does this random dives to the left now and again, that's going to be a bit of a hindrance. But he's so much talent that I wouldn't even dare to oppose him because, like you said, Catherine, I do think he's 150 plus.
I think that's been worked on.
Yeah, I mean, if it has, and they've sorted that out, and he jumps straighter, I genuinely think he's a good thing, an absolute good thing. It's one of them in running. I'm sat there in running ready, you know, to start having bombs on, because that's the way I'm going to play the race. Quentin, John, thoughts?
I'm just going to double any harm in asking with me 66 to 1 shot. That way I get more on.
Yeah, dashing Roger. You love Roger. Quentin.
Only I can't remember Catherine giving it to me last season. That Catherine, good thing she said. There's a good thing. I think it was a Sunday or something. The only concern is they've got him in the Greatwood. Are they going to want to win this ahead of the Greatwood? That's the nagging doubt.
That's what worried me. That's what worried me going right-handed. It's like why you wouldn't. If I dive to the left, I would never think I'm going to go right-handed next time. That's the only thing that puts me off.
You've sorted this out.
I think he'll win, but I think that it will be. I don't think we'll see a sort of wide margin win. I think this will be so. Let's face it, they don't want to be going up any more than 10, do they?
Well, if you just go up a few, it's all right. If you get up in the closing stages, it doesn't matter. The horse has got that much ability.
Yeah.
That literally it could do things wrong and still win. That's why I'm attracted to the bet, because especially in running. I mean that's why what the current price of 7-2 pre-play. If they've sorted that problem out, let's say, and it jumps really well and straight early and sort of settles a little bit better, I'd make this a 11 to 10 chance. So anybody that's offering sort of like, 2 to 1 plus, I'd be all over it. But I think that's where I play any harm in asking. An exciting prospect. So
you know what I love, Lou, is when you said I'm going to be sitting in running, waiting to have bombs on. Great advert for responsible gambling.
I know, gin and bombs. I mean, it's a disgrace, isn't it? Alcohol, tipping when pissed as well. I mean, it is a disgrace.
How still got a clean rating is what I want to know.
Apple sympathise. I mean, that's the thing. They sympathise with the afflicted, and I think that's clear. Someone's clearly listened and thought, Jesus Christ,
what's with that lot?
Yeah,
I think the guy that does the grades for Apple is probably a southerner, and he made subtitles. And he didn't
It's right. It is right. I mean, I got complimented the other week for saying class and bath and
It was only because you were pissed.
Yeah, I got my sort of words mixed up. Anyway, 240, the Byrne Group Handicap Chase, a Premier Handicap. Gumball is the favourite. What a pig that is! I mean, how is that favourite at the moment? Gumball. Come on, chaps.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to state the obvious, and like this is obviously well within his reach, but it's what's going on in his head, isn't it?
Ooh.
But at least there's one thing for Gumball that we can all be thankful for. He no longer has the £10 penalty on his back.
Well, yes, this is actually true. I mean, the thing with me for this horse though is the fact that literally the horse is an absolute shit. I mean at Ludlow last winter when he got beat half a length. I mean, you know, he just basically didn't want to set off. He gave them start. It was just as if he just can't be asked. And I can remember the last bet I had on him was in the flat at York when it won by a short head. And it tried to toss it off then. It tried. It really did try. It did its best. It made the running. Yeah. It made the running off a slow pace, right? And it honestly tried to get out of it. And I don't know how I won, really. I had a good bet, I think, at 7-2 morning prices. Went off 9-4. And I'm thinking, well, this is won. I'd spent it, counted it. And literally, final furlong, it was like watching Jeremy Vine, you know. You know, I mean, it's a no.
I understand what you're saying. I from a sort of speaking from the heart point of view, I'd love to see him win it. Do you know, I actually do fancy, and I know obviously he got the race in the stewards' room last year, but I do fancy Monsieur Lecoq. Nice little spin over hurdles.
You fancy what? What's going up in the Gloucestershire Lido, Fry?
Look, I'm working at the library tomorrow morning. Do you mind? And I'm really hoping that there won't be a few Monsieur Lecoqs around. But yeah, hey, let's put this another way. I am going to have a bet on Monsieur Lecoq.
We're so childish.
I wasn't really asked a lot of questions last time, and I think that probably should have put him spot on from this. Obviously, the horse that he pushed out in this race last year, Moolah Gold, runs as well. That's the thing with these sort of handicaps at Ascot. They tend to be the same fields year on year, don't they?
Pretty much. And Moolah Gold, though, won the last 2 renewals. Goes well for Bridget.
It does. He did. He got disqualified last year. I just think
tricky.
That saw the run Chapstow of the aforementioned Mister. I thought, oh, well, are they heading back to the Ascot race again? And lo and behold, they are. But I fancied when I first saw this now, and I thought that Pumpkin was going to run Diego de Charnel, and I thought that would have given Freddie Gingell a winner here, but he's declared him a non-runner. So he's pulling out a few tomorrow, obviously, Pumpkin.
The good thing for John is with Venetia having a runner in this, and it's on ITV, she might wear them snazzy outfits, John, just to get you more, just back on side.
Rare bamboo, yeah.
Twine jackets that do it. I mean, I must
Is it?
She wore some kind of Japanese sort of like, remember it was it Aintree or Cheltenham? I can't remember which meeting, but she wore a really snazzy outfit.
Yeah, so it's sort of toying with the geisha look there. That really messed with my head, actually.
She was trying. She was really trying. And
It's like a bit of tweed. You're not going to come down for Countryside Day at the November meeting.
No. Venetia watched the outfit watch tomorrow for John Joe Legg as he sat there listening to Alice Plunkett's Barn Dance audition. 3:15, the Bateaux London Gold Cup Handicap Chase sees Our Power at the moment market leader for Sam Thomas and the drunk Charlie Deutsch in the saddle. Any thoughts here?
Didn't know Charlie Deutsch was a drunk?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I thought he just rode like he was pissed.
Oh, no.
No. What was it, Fry? He got done, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, he ended up inside, didn't he? God love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically. I think he led. Was it? I don't know if it was Gloucestershire Constabulary or Oxfordshire Constabulary. Constabulary, but he basically led them a merry dance. I think he failed to stop, or did he stop and then do a runner? I can't remember. But yeah, he was proper sozzled.
But it doesn't take away from the fact I do love watching Charlie Deutsch over a fence. I think he makes a fantastic shape.
Good rider, yeah.
Rider, yeah. That's
Can we just say, before we get onto this race properly, Rig Along Car, disgrace.
Yeah.
I know, what is this doing? At 14 years old, Jesus.
Yeah, no, that should not be it. Look at poor old If the Cat Fits last week. That horse should have been retired a long time ago. You know, no,
Yeah.
he hates fences. He's turning up over fences at Aintree, which takes some jumping. And I just thought, wankers. You know,
What's the great man thinking? There?
I don't know. Is it because Lake Shahi loves the Ascot?
Honeyball's telling him it's still working 250.
Maybe he's just scared he'll lose the JP Christmas bonus if he doesn't have one in training with him.
I don't know. I mean, he does that, doesn't he? Ronan, RP McNally's done it with
yeah.
you know, but it's not something I want to see.
No, I mean, he should be having a nice retirement.
If this completes the season, he's 15, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's great.
And he's earned his retirement because he's been such a great servant. You know,
absolutely, he should be back at Martintown eating.
He should. Yeah, don't agree with this. Yeah, I agreed. Anyway, thoughts on it?
That's quite interesting because I see that now they've got Jack Tudor backjumped up on Kitty's Light, when earlier they had Ellis Collier claiming the
did. Yes, they did.
I quite fancied that. I thought Kitty's Light with Ellis Collier taking 7 off. So yeah, I wonder. I'm not sure what's gone on there, but that to me was my fancy in the race.
Well, it beat Our Power at Kempton, didn't it?
Yeah.
Last year. That's currently favourite. That had a tough trip at Cheltenham in the Ultima. Ran a blinder. Charlie was drunk that day. Let's hope he turns up sober. And you know, the BHA won't check. So yeah, let's hope Our Power gets there in one piece and Charlie Deutsch gives it a good ride, because I thought it was unlucky in the Ultima. But like you said, Cathryn, the Kitty's Light did beat it at Kempton, got some strong form last year, but quite weak in the market, which is off-putting for that team.
Yeah.
Ansam, John, you like Ansam?
Will it be soft enough?
That's the issue. I think his jumping goes to Pete. If he gets in a rhythm, he's quite devastating. If he doesn't, he's naffed. It's one or the other.
You know what might not be a bad bet, actually. You know that obviously Mr. Malarkey's had two runs for Richard Bandy.
Yeah. And
obviously he was with the old Tiz before. That might not be a bad bet, 10-1.
Yeah, only problem with Mr. Malarkey is he's very lazy, and again we come to a track like Ascot, you can't afford to be lazy around there. It's so tight.
I think Bassi will shoot him off in front.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean it's like I had the lot on him at Doncaster last year, and I never get paid. I mean, it's life, isn't it? I'm one of these like Mr. Never Win. 5th of March. Last year, Gary Bannister in the saddle, great striker for Sheffield Wednesday and QPR. He was in the saddle, and I'd spent it. He spent half the race just not wanting to know. Then he come into the race, and you're thinking, well, that's it now. You've done it. Stand up. I stood up. I stood up out of my chair. I don't get out of my chair, but I stood up. I'm celebrating. This is it. Yes, this is it. No. More pain. Clubber Lang entered the building straight after. I went pain, and you know, this is my life. You know, Mr. Malarkey would have won me an absolute chip shop, and it's never to be. You know, I saw it. The trainer change. Colin Tizard was absolutely useless at the time. Obviously, Joe's took over the reins. He's better now. But Mr. Malarkey, I thought, that's it. Tizard to Bandy. Bandy loves the chaser. He's a brilliant trainer. Thought, this is it. This is the one. This is the one. This is it. But what happened? It didn't happen for me. And this is it. It'll probably like run lazily around Ascot tomorrow. And it's like you say, the right jockey though, Fry, Bass.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, indeed. Quentin.
Absolutely no opinion at all.
That sums up this show, really. Yeah, a disaster. No, it doesn't. We've had a tremendous show, and I thank Fry for coming back on. She really injects life into the national hunt scene, and she also injects life into me because that's it. We're all flat brigades, and now we're back to the national hunt scene. It's time to concentrate on the jumping scene. November handicap next week, and then after that, it's all jumping. So we've got to get into it. So great show, chaps. John, Cathryn, Quentin, thank you.